But do you suspect her?
I need to hear her side of the story. If I do, I might find out she's totally innocent. If you truly believe that she didn't do it, you should tell me everything you know.
But...
Do it for Iris.
Around 6:15, I guess.
Where did they go?
I didn't see. They got into Renju's car and drove off.
And what did you do?
I went inside Sunfish Pocket, but I saw a sign that said the entire club was reserved. I figured I would just go home.
What happened?
Date.
Iris, there's something I need to ask you. Come with me.
Hmm?
Iris, I'm going to ask you some questions. Please answer honestly. However, you do not have to say anything that might incriminate you.
The right to remain silent? You're treating me like a criminal.
Not exactly. I'm just looking for the truth, and I would appreciate your cooperation. I heard you used to work at Sunfish Pocket.
That's right.
How long?
A little over a year.
Working there that long, you're probably pretty familiar with the equipment.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's what Ota told me. Yesterday around 6:15 p.m., you and Renju came out of the Sunfish Pocket building. Is that true?
Yes? Mr. Okiura called me and told me he wanted me to come to Sunfish Pocket, ASAP.
Around what time was that?
5 p.m., I think. I got ready, then headed over there. I guess I got there about an hour later.
Date, I checked her call history. At 4:58 p.m., there is a record of a call to Iris from Renju's phone.
What were you doing with Renju?
He asked me about a job.
What kind of job?
He rented out Sunfish Pocket for a party and he wanted me to MC. He said that it was an important party and that a lot of big shots were gonna be there. But the girl he asked to do it originally got sick and couldn't come. But I turned him down.
Why?
Because I'm just an internet idol. I've never done any MCing before. Especially with important people being there.
What did you do after you turned him down?
I left with Mr. Okiura. At 6:15 p.m. That must have been when Ota saw me.
And after that?
I asked Mr. Okiura to take me home in his car. I got home at 7 p.m. I was home the rest of the night.
What do you think, Aiba?
I cannot detect any contradictions. However, her story appears almost too organized. Human memory is ambiguous. Her use of exact times leads me to be suspicious.
That's true. What about the surveillance camera? Do you know where those tapes were stored?
What are you trying to say?
What were you doing from 7 to 9 last night?
I was at home the whole time.
You're sure?
Yes.
Aiba, thermograph.
There is no noticeable rise in Iris's body temperature.
She isn't lying.
Not necessarily. We must consider the possibility that she is a natural liar.
With With that kind of confidence, her temperature wouldn't change.
Correct.
Renju's estimated time of death was 8 p.m. last night. If Iris' story is true, she couldn't have done it.
There is another possibility. Even if Iris was at home, she could have killed Renju.
You mean... When did you find out Renju was killed?
This morning, on the news.
And you were with Renju last night? You didn't think to call the police and inform them of this?
Oh, sorry. Is that something you're supposed to do? I had a podcast to record this morning, so if I went to the police, I'd be late. And that would cause everyone a lot of trouble, you know?
I'll ask again. You are sure you were at home around 8 p.m. yesterday?
Yes.
Can I ask your mother about your alibi?
You can, but there'd be no point.
Why is that?
My mom wasn't home. She came back home early this morning.
This morning?
Yeah.
Where was she?
I don't know.
You don't know. Come to think of it, Iris' mom had connections to Renju too.
Hitomi did mention that yesterday.
Renju was my classmate at Eitoku High. We've known each other for 20 years now.
However, we have nothing to link her to the case.
But I am curious. What was Hitomi doing last night?
Am I a suspect?
It's not like that.
It's fine, Date. It's true that I met with Mr. Okiura yesterday, but how do I put this? It's impossible that I'm the killer.
Why?
I'm a teenage girl. Mr. Okiura is a fully grown man.
Oh, she's got a point. A girl like her could have stabbed, poisoned, or shot him dead, but strangling?
No, it's still possible. You see,
The autopsy discovered a high concentration of benzodiazepine in Renju's body. This drug is commonly used as a sedative. It is likely that Renju was in a state of compromised consciousness before his death.
a heavy concentration of sedatives were discovered in Renju's body. Renju was practically in a coma before he died. He wouldn't have struggled.
So, Iris could have strangled him.
Wait a minute. Even if I was somehow able to kill him, the rest of it is impossible.
The rest of it?
Like hanging up his body?
How do you know that?
What do you mean? It's all over the news.
That's true. Renju weighed about 160 pounds. Even if she used her entire body weight, I don't think she could have hauled him up.
Right. It would be hard for her to do it with her strength alone. But with a little ingenuity, it could be done.
Ingenuity?
Renju's corpse was discovered at the maid cafe Sunfish Pocket, hanging from a beam on the ceiling by a wire. He was found over the counter. The wire was attached on both ends. One end was attached to a hook that was embedded inside Renju's jaw. The other end was attached to beer kegs found on the floor. The kegs hold approximately 20 liters of liquid. They weigh approximately 55 pounds each.
It went like this. First, Renju was laid out on the counter. Next, the wire was thrown over the beam and connected to the hook in his jaw. Then all you need to do is put the 3 beer kegs on the counter.
You think a teenage girl could have done that?
I'm sure it was hard. The kegs weighed 55 pounds each. But that's not impossible, even for a teenage girl.
I guess it isn't impossible.
After that, you get on top of the counter, hook the other end of the wires to the kegs, and then, what do you think happens if you kick the kegs off the counter?
The 3 kegs weighed 165 pounds altogether. Renju weighs 5 pounds less. I guess that would make it possible. But there is one more thing.
What?
Considering the state of the crime scene, it's clear Renju was killed elsewhere and brought to where we found him. If Iris is the culprit, how did she move the body?
Hey!
I know. You're going to say you couldn't have moved a 160-pound body.
Unfortunately for her, she could have.
How?
The oil drum inside Sunfish Pocket. The type that has a lid you can open, with about a 200-liter capacity. Empty, it weighs approximately 44 pounds.
Do you know what this is? It's Renju's favorite watch. This was discovered inside an empty oil drum at Sunfish Pocket.
Hey, Date, I know you're on a roll right now, but could you please report things like that according to protocol?
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that it wouldn't be so hard to move a body if it were in a cylinder. You would just have to roll it.
So you're saying Renju's body was moved inside the drum, which is how the watch came off. But the suspect didn't notice it.
I'm not saying anything for sure. Just pointing out that it's possible.
I didn't do it! You don't even have any witnesses! If I were rolling an oil drum in the middle of the street, people would have noticed!
You could have put it in a car and driven it.
I don't have a license!
Doesn't mean you can't drive. Even an AI can drive nowadays.
Are you mocking me?
Don't make sudden outbursts like that.
You insulted me!
Just be quiet.
Who are you talking to?
Anyway, Iris, you weigh about 105 pounds, right?
Where is this coming from?
If only you weighed more. Or less.
That is none of your business.
No, I mean that your weight is relevant to the case. If the oil drum was used to transport the corpse, then the possibility of the suspect being around 105 pounds is extremely likely.
Why do you say that?
Sunfish Pocket is located on the 2nd floor. According to the records, from 6:30 p.m. until the body was found, the elevator stopped on the 2nd floor only once. At 8:55 p.m., the total weight detected in the elevator was approximately 310 pounds.
Iris, on which floor is Sunfish Pocket located?
On the 2nd floor?
That's right. So, I checked the elevator records. Before the corpse was discovered, the elevator only stopped at the 2nd floor once, at 8:55 p.m. And we discovered that the total cargo weight on the elevator was about 310 pounds. Renju weighed 160. The oil drum weighs 44. Together, that's about 205. Subtracting that from 310...
This doesn't look good.
Why are you...
Now, this obviously doesn't prove you're the murderer. A lot of people weigh 105 pounds. Or someone could have put 105 extra pounds in the elevator, sent it up, and taken the stairs to throw us off the trail. However...
Date, stop. Iris is acting strange. Don't turn around.
Why not?
Just stay put. Keep your eyes on the wall. There are several cameras in this room. 2 surveillance cameras installed at the corners of the ceiling, and 1 camera on a tripod. I hacked each to gain access to their recordings. Look at this.
Ah, shit. Iris, what are you thinking? What is that thing? Hey, answer me, Iris.
She's definitely hiding something, Date. Sync with her.
Iris is experiencing REM sleep. The medication is working perfectly.
How about it, Date? Think you can do it?
Not a problem. Get it started.
The time limit is 6 minutes. So before time is up,
I know.
then let's begin.
What is this place?
It looks depressing. How is this related to Iris?
Unknown, but there must be a connection.
Iris, what are you hiding?
Somnium scan! Activate!
A double door. It doesn't open. We don't have to worry about it. A double door.
Hiya! Hiya!
Stop that! You're not helping! A CRT TV.
Stop!
What is this video?
It is difficult to believe.
But these are the faces of the victims of the original Cyclops killer.
What? What is going on here? Iris, what are you hiding?
We should continue. There are more objects to inspect now. A double door. It doesn't open. A double door. A full body mirror. A full body mirror. Can you talk?
Can you talk?
What? Don't copy me.
What? Don't copy me.
Pervert. Date is a pervert.
Pervert! Dante is a pervert!
Why do I have to get called a pervert? And twice?
5
A
minutes
full
left,
body
Dante.
mirror. A torso in the reflection.
A torso? Not you?
Is there any meaning to this?
Can't say. But what is going on?
A full body mirror. Are you sure I can break this mirror?
No, I don't think you have the strength to break it.
Then why did you ask me to, pervert?
Just punch it, and I'm not a pervert. See? It won't break.
What was the point of that? A revolver.
Is it real?
It appears that way. It is a pistol. It appears to be fixed with a vise.
Why would this be here?
What's this? The trigger. There is a stick in the hole of the trigger guard.
That's suspicious.
A revolver. Weekly Shonen?
Don't say it!
I did the best I could. I am not a cyborg, and thus I cannot reach that height. This is not my fault.
Nobody's blaming you.
4 minutes.
A torso with a head.
If it has a head, is it still called a torso?
What would you call it? No use.
Their guard is up. You have to loosen them up first.
What do you mean?
The traditional approach would be to start with a massage.
If you are not going to help, should I choke you instead?
You should try that on them. They might be into that.
Date, please stop. A revolver. A torso. special happens.
You don't have the muscle mass. You need to do some training.
What would be the point of that? I do not have muscles.
That's what I just said.
I cannot wait for the day I have enough muscle to punch you in the face. It will be splendid. A torso with a head.
Even my consciousness is being affected.
While I was unconscious, the room changed.
I'm tired of this. But we have no choice but to investigate.
Minutes, Date.
A drug bottle that holds some kind of liquid. A drug bottle. There is no label. I cannot determine what is inside.
It's probably dangerous.
I agree. We should not touch it even in Somnium. Some things should not be done. A drug bottle. A syrupy smell, like sweet almonds.
Syrup? You think they were baking a cake or something?
If it isn't syrup, it's nitroglycerin.
Why is that here?
Nitroglycerin reacts violently upon light impact. It needs to be mixed to lower its sensitivity.
Mixed with what?
Acetone.
Acetone?
It is best that we do not disturb this for now.
Right.
A drug bottle that holds some... Do not pressure me, Date.
Pressure you?
Into drinking alcohol.
Is it alcohol?
Well, unknown.
This is for an investigation. I'm ordering you to drink it.
You are exploiting your position of power. I will set up a labor union.
An AI labor union? Sounds dystopian.
I won't drink it.
Fine.
An operating table.
How does it feel?
Awful. Am I going to be killed? Modified? I'm restless. I can't take the suspense.
Do you think they'll modify you into a grasshopper or a spider?
That's not what I'm talking about.
You have less than 2
It's an
minutes, Date.
operating-
Hurry.
The fabric on the surface is frayed. It appears to be in use despite its age.
They did surgery here?
Surgery or worse. It's an operating table. Who do you intend I operate on?
Can you just pretend to do it?
Pretend to do it? Nothing's happening. How disappointing.
Damn. I thought it might trigger a memory to recreate itself or something.
Perhaps you should abandon that line of thinking. A double. A full body mirror. It's an old television. It's the world beyond, Date.
That's just static.
My generation has never seen static.
Right, you're only 5 years old.
Do not measure my age on the same scale as a human's. My mental age is 10 times that.
Mature woman, huh?
You have 1 minute left.
An old television. That video showed the face of a victim of the original Cyclops killer. It appeared to be the second victim.
What is going on? Iris has something to do with the first Cyclops case?
Unknown. I do not have enough information.
Guess that means we have to investigate more.
Indeed. The oil drum, shelf, and another torso have been added.
Let's go.
A full body. A double.
Five minutes left, Doctor.
If it has a head...
What would you... An old... Only a shelf. A common gas canister. A torso similar to a fashion mannequin. Only a shelf. That shelf sticking out. It seems odd. What happened?
A metal ball must have fallen off the shelf.
Why would anyone put that there? A common gas canister. The smell tingles, like sweet and sour. A ketone. Perhaps acetone?
Acetone, acet, some relation to Iris?
I cannot determine that with the evidence we have. More than likely, it is coincidence. A common gas.
If you can't, then
It is meant to be closed?
I think so.
A common.
Are you okay?
It hurts. I might not be able to stand for a while.
Don't give up. I believe in you.
I believe that you are more of a sadist than you let on.
3 minutes, Date.
A torso.
I didn't get hit, did I?
There is no effect on your body, Date.
Hit my soul hard enough.
While you were unconscious, a television and an old book appeared.
I want to get off this ride.
If my calculations are correct, it will be over soon.
Let's hope you're right.
It is a thick book. Fly away now! It disappeared!
Maybe it wasn't that special.
You have less than 2 minutes, Date. Hurry.
An old-fashioned TV.
Please. Help me. Help me.
This was the third victim of the original Cyclops killer.
Why does Iris know that?
There is a possibility that she saw it online or on TV.
She even reproduced the circumstances of the killing. Would her imagination explain that?
Date, we have no direct evidence. For now, we must continue investigating.
Right.
An iron ball. It looks quite heavy. In this form, I have impeccable balance. Due to the antennae on my head.
That's not hair? That's kind of creepy.
Oh? Would you like to see an augmented reality in which my antennae rub all over you?
Wow, what lovely antennae you have. So cute.
Just a locker. I saw light reflected for a moment. It is some type of metal. I cannot determine more.
Metal? Be careful, Ira.
Understood. Just a lock. I heard a metallic sound, like gears spinning.
Is there something inside? Be careful, Iva. Just...
Roger. Just a locker.
Iva?
It's all right. More importantly... That is...
What happened in that Somnium?
We saw it too.
The 4 murdered women are without a doubt the victims of the original Cyclops serial killings.
That means...
The murders that occurred 6 years ago are these memory fragments that coalesced in this Somnium.
No. That means the person who killed them was... Hey, did you hear something just now?
It must be in your head. Date, can you turn on the TV? Videodrone is about to start.
What's Videodrone?
You haven't seen Videodrone? It's a cult classic.
I haven't seen it, and that's not a TV anyway.
I don't believe there's any meaningful connection. Between the original and new Cyclops serial killings, I mean.
Why is that?
The culprit is not the same. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
How can you be so sure?
Because I can. Don't worry about it. Just trust me. Remember what the boss said this morning. The original Cyclops killer has yet to be brought to justice. After the investigation got going, it was taken over by the government and classified. That was the last we heard anything about it. Of course, they paid lip service to the idea that the investigation was ongoing, but in reality, it was dropped completely. The Sinker does not always experience the Somnium they expect. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. When using the sync machine for an investigation, we don't always see the memories we expect to see. True, oftentimes a subject will subconsciously want to express their dark secrets and repressed memories. That is why we see them so often in Somnia, and why those Somnia are so useful for criminal investigations. But this is not a guarantee. We cannot control the content of our dreams, after all. It's like I told you before. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. This can be expressed as an equation. Dream D equals memory A plus memory B plus memory C. This, of course, means that Dream D is a fictional event. However, the same cannot necessarily be said about memory A, B, and C. Those happened in reality. In other words, fiction is built from combinations of reality.
So what I saw in Somnium earlier...
Yes, I believe Iris actually witnessed those events.
In the Somnium earlier, I saw someone else who might be the criminal. Who was he?
I wouldn't know.
Pewter, you said that memories happened in reality, right? But what about false memories? How do we know if the memory really happened?
Even false memories are built from the pieces of real ones. If you disassemble those pieces, you will find real events.
What about things you see in movies or television?
The events might be fictional, but the experience is not. Our imaginations are limited to what we have seen. We cannot invent something whole cloth.
The Cyclops killer appeared 6 years ago. I lost my memory 6 years ago. There has to be some kind of connection.
There isn't. It's a coincidence.
Really?
Really. Didn't I tell you? The entire case is a state secret. No matter how many times you ask, I won't tell you anything.
Help me understand this. What I saw during the sink earlier, that was the scene of the original Cyclops serial killings, right?
Yeah.
So the person doing the killing was the original Cyclops killer.
Right.
Did you see him? He was...
I saw your face. The original Cyclops killer was...
It can't be. That's impossible.
Date, you cannot say that for certain. You have no memories past 6 years ago.
So perhaps, Mr. Date, you are the killer. You're missing your left eye, so you steal them from others.
I'm kidding. You can't be the Cyclops killer.
Really?
Of course not. Do you think I would hire a serial killer? You interrogated Iris before the sink. What you saw in the Somnium was just a manifestation of the fear you put in her. You can't dream of something you know nothing about.
That means Iris must know about the killings.
6 years ago, Iris was 12.
Did she witness the crime at age 12? And not just one, but all four?
Dante, it looks like Iris is about to wake up.
Got it. Hey, Iris. About that dream earlier.
Dream? What dream?
There is no point in asking her, Date. The subject of a sink does not experience somnium in the way that you do. They will not remember it.
Then what about the Cyclops killer from 6 years ago?
Cyclops killer? I remember hearing it on the news, but I was just a little girl. I don't remember anything specific.
You don't?
No,
What about the scene of the murder?
I don't know. I've never been there.
But
Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones.
You can't dream of something you know nothing about. Date, could you take Iris home?
huh?
We do not have enough evidence to hold her. Even in Somnium, we couldn't find anything. The law demands that we release her.
You cannot decline, Date.
Date, could we make a stop first?
Sure. Where?
Marble. It's a bar in Golden Yokocho.
You know about that place?
Yeah, Mr. Okiura took me before.
Why do you want to go there?
There's something I want to talk about.
We can't talk here?
It might take a while.
What do you think?
There's no reason to refuse. Besides, there's a lot I want to ask her, too. All right, sure.
Tessa!
Oh, Ota! No, I didn't tell him to come. He just showed up on his own.
Oh, she left a little while ago. She said something about going to help an acquaintance. She told me to watch the place until she got back.
How well do you know Mama?
not at all. It's my first time here. No, this is my new one. You're thinking of the one I dropped in that puddle. I was nihiling with Tessa earlier. She said she was going to Marble, so... I got here just before you did. Look, I was really worried about her. She was about to be charged with a serious crime.
This actually works out nicely. I want to ask you something, Ota. It's about a Nile message you sent Iris. You said you wouldn't tell anyone about that thing. That you'd stay quiet no matter what. What were you talking about?
Well,
I'll tell her about the two-witter thing. I swear I'll do it.
Geez, fine. Just don't tell anyone else, okay? But before I tell you, who's that?
What?
At the door. Someone's standing outside.
Where am I?
It looks like you're awake now. Ota, the boy I asked to watch the bar?
I'd say he's too old to be called a boy, but yeah.
He was already gone when I came back. All I saw was you getting your beauty sleep on the floor.
Damn it, Ota. What are you thinking?
It appears that he took off with Iris.
What were you doing during all this?
My power was shut down due to the stun gun. I have rebooted in safe mode and am now operational.
I tried. You wouldn't budge. I thought you were passed out drunk, so I left you like that.
But I didn't have a glass in front of me, right?
So you weren't drunk?
Didn't have a single drop.
Oh, I thought you were drinking straight out of the bottle. Just like the old days. It'll be 3 o'clock soon. In the morning, of course.
Date, the boss is calling.
Oh, how am I gonna report this one?
Date, listen. Stay calm, but this is an emergency. Just now, the killer... Well, just watch the video. I sent the address to Iba.
Iris! No, that's...
The criminal is streaming this live.
Iva, the source.
Identified. The Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse, Koto District.
Okiura?
Date, focus. We need to get to the site, now.
What's our ETA?
Our destination is far from here. 20 minutes at the fastest.
Please, please let me make it in time. That sick bastard!
Tessa! Hold on! I'll save you!
Ota!
Stay away from Tessa! Ah!
No, it can't be. No. Stop! No! Ota.
There you are. Finally. I was looking all over for you. It's rare to see you down like this, but it's understandable. You blame yourself for this, don't you? Beating yourself up about taking Iris to Marble, and about letting Ota get the upper hand on you. Am I right? Shall I tell you what Investigation HQ thinks? Ota Matsushita is a criminal stalker who committed murder-suicide. Ota had a selfish love for Iris. He was under the delusion that Iris loved him too. But Iris refused Ota. So Ota decided that he and Iris should be together in the afterlife, killed her, then killed himself.
That's ridiculous. Ota would never kill Iris. And how do you explain the other two murders? Iris's left eye was hollowed out. Just like Renju and Shoko. Those three murders were definitely executed by the same person. The new Cyclops killer. There's no way that's Ota. Too many pieces don't fit. Too many contradictions, like killing Iris.
Such as?
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota showed himself on the stream. If he was gonna kill Iris and then himself, why would he do that? The only reason you would show yourself like that is to prove that you weren't the culprit. Ota and the polar bear on the screen at the same time would prove that they're not the same person. That behavior would be totally unnecessary if he was gonna commit suicide anyway.
Well, maybe he wasn't planning on dying at first. After he killed Iris, he realized that he couldn't live with himself.
So he lies down on the workbench and turns on the ice-cutting machine himself? I don't buy it. The culprit was wearing a polar bear costume, probably to hide their identity. But if murder-suicide was the plan, the costume served no purpose.
Maybe he was thinking like this. The reason Iris and I can't be together is because her agency prohibits it. Making the president, Renju, the ultimate bad guy in his mind.
Mizuki is Ota's close friend. Do you really think Ota would kill his friend's father?
Shoko was married to Renju. Maybe he was trying to get at Renju by killing her.
That's a stretch. They've been divorced for years. Ota knows all about it. He wouldn't use Shoko to get to Renju.
There are some additional discrepancies. I analyzed the investigation report. Judging by his wound, Ota was stabbed in the side by a kitchen knife or something similar.
Are you sure?
I am.
Oh, I know that.
Well?
Ota could have stabbed himself. Maybe he thought it would be a fatal wound, but when it didn't work, he went for the ice-cutting machine.
Then, shouldn't we have recovered the kitchen knife from the scene?
Maybe he threw it in the ocean.
Boss, come on. Ota goes out to the water, stabs himself in the gut, throws the knife over the side, then walks back to the warehouse?
Well, I wasn't being serious. I didn't think Ota was the culprit from the beginning. I was just playing devil's advocate for HQ.
Really?
Yes, really.
Anyway, Ota didn't kill anyone, and he didn't kill himself. Here's what I think happened.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota knew Iris was kidnapped, so he rushed onto the scene. That's when he saw the culprit wearing the polar bear costume. He tried to fight him off, but ended up being stabbed in the side. He was weakened and losing blood at the culprit's mercy. The culprit forced him into the costume, then under the ice-cutting machine. And then...
Then, who is the culprit?
I wish I knew.
We're up to 4 victims. But Ota was a special circumstance. He wasn't specifically targeted by the culprit.
Right. And he was the only one to not have his eye pulled out.
So let's focus on the 3 other victims. Shoko, Renju, and Iris. What connects these 3?
Connections.
If you find a connection between the victims, you find a connection to the culprit. That's the theory of investigation, right?
You think the new Cyclops killer is related to them somehow?
Maybe, maybe not. But it's a good starting point.
Renju and Shoko were connected to the Kumakuras, but there's no connection to Iris. Mayumi had motive for killing Iris and Renju. Mayumi hated Iris, and she didn't think well of Lemniscate either. And since Renju is the president... Anyway, the weak point is Renju's ex-wife, Shoko. I can't imagine why Mayumi would kill her, and above all else, she would never harm her only son, let alone kill him. Mizuki has the strongest connections with all 3 victims. Shoko and Renju were her parents, and she was close friends with Iris. She was good friends with Ota too. But that's why I could never believe Mizuki would kill all 4 of them. Thinking of her as a suspect is ridiculous. Hitomi and Renju are definitely linked. They were high school classmates. And she did say that she met Shoko twice, but I can't imagine she would kill Iris in such a gruesome way. No matter what the circumstances were, it seems impossible to me. Renju, Shoko, and So. There is a connection between Renju and Shoko through the Kumakuras. But again, I can't see any clear link to Iris. I know Renju and Shoko. And I'm connected to Iris. But I have an alibi. Aside from Shoko, there's no way I could have killed any of them. No, now that I think about it, Shoko too. I don't remember killing her. My memories from 6 years ago are missing, but I still have my memory of recent events. And if I start doubting myself now...
Date, I can say without a doubt that there is 0 possibility you are the new Cyclops killer. I have been working with you for years. I know better than anyone that you are innocent.
I thought it over, boss. Of the people I know, I can't peg any of them as the murderer.
And no leads to pursue?
No.
Then there's only one thing you can do. Continue your investigation. Do whatever it takes to get the culprit, to get justice for the victims.
You're right. Got it, boss.
This is your fault. I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris. My boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now. Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Date, let's go. She is in no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right.
In the language of flowers, the iris means good news and hope. When I saw the flowers this morning, I just knew something good would happen.
Iris.
Oda was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school. I heard it from the police. Oda tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words. Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together. Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine. Then it was 2, then 3, and finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent. Even though she needed constant attention growing up. Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why?
Hitomi, my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but...
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding, the second time a month ago. That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger. I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Do you know who?
No, I don't. We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison, in Tokyo.
Fuchu.
Prison?
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
I don't know what to do. Thinking about her. Dante, please, you have to catch them. Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.